Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for RB. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So RB has sent in quite a few requests for these Aerial Americas, and I believe he said this was the last one he was sending for this. And it was been interesting so far to see this. I never knew this show existed, where it was on the Smithsonian Channel, which again I never even knew that was a thing. And pretty much, they take a plane, helicopter, and they put a camera on it, and they go through these very beautiful, sweeping, lush photography video footage showing these landscapes of these specific states, in this case Vermont, and you really see the beauty of the states, like the Green Mountain State. And as it's showing these really nice images, it gives you information about the history or the environment or anything in between that's about that part of the region that they're showcasing. So, for example, they say it was the first state to abolish slavery. We take a look at Lake Champlain and the rock quarry, where there's some marine fossils there. The lake where there's America's version of Loch Ness called Champ. On land, there's a steamship called the Ticonderoga, where people could go and kind of look around to see how steamships like this were like back in the day. Thought that was kind of interesting. There's the old round church, which is 16-sided. And apparently 16 men built it. And then one where the bell goes. So that was kind of an interesting structure. The home of Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream Factory, which, to be honest, I never had Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Never had it. Usually, maybe Blue Bunny or something else. If I did ice cream, I kind of get the soft vanilla, which I think is Blue Bunny. But never had Ben and Jerry's. So I know there's, what was it, the Jerry Garcia? What was it, the fucking... There's like a Jerry Garcia. I forget what kind of ice cream, but I'm like, really? That's a flavor of ice cream? Let me get that. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Cherry Garcia. Sorry. Cherry Garcia. My mistake. Cherry. You never had that. But I just thought it was such a weird way. Company introduced the flavor in 1987 after receiving a fan-submitted idea via a postcard. A fan sent in an anonymous postcard with the suggestion, which the company adopted: cherry ice cream with sweet cherries and fudge flakes. It was the first ice cream flavor Ben & Jerry's named for a rock legend. So, damn. Maybe one day I should try it. I don't know. But they show the factory. I mean, the factory doesn't look like anything. Honestly, it looked kind of just your typical factory. Like you would pass it and not even give it another eye. Yeah, not even bat an eye. But maybe that's the point. So that way you don't have a lot of people nosing around and, you know. So it just looks like a typical building. Kind of, okay, just move along and attract less attention. Probably my favorite part is when they showed these beautiful array of trees, the sugar maple, where they became fiery red trees. And that looked really neat. That looked really beautiful. Beautiful landscape. I just want is areas like that. I wonder. I mean, this is a stupid question now, but I wonder how they do with like wireless internet. Like if they have wires under it, do the trees and stuff kind of mess with their signals? I know that's stupid, but because God forbid satellite internet. Because if you have satellite internet, you might as well have dial-up internet. Maybe they like I was gonna say landline, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Maybe they have cable. I mean, maybe they have other ways of it. But yeah, beautiful looking trees. They show some cemeteries. They didn't go far with this story, but they bring up like there was a grandma, a daughter, and a grandson that froze to death, walked into town, and that was just fucking depressing. I remember they go, oh, like we were just talking about, Ben and Jerry's, Cherry Garcia, Cherry Garcia, and then, hey, this grandma, daughter, and grandson all fucking died, walked into town. I'm like, wow, great. Yeah, any Cherry Garcia vodka? No? Okay. But definitely a very sad story to hear. There's a quarry known as the Rock of Ages. Take that for you will. Some nice looking stuff there. They show the place where Kipling wrote the Jungle Book. Thought that was kind of interesting. And the place is like 3 miles from anywhere. The house was, the structure's like a boat on the hillside. It's a pretty, lawn house. They also show the log cabin where the poet Robert Frost wrote his poems and stuff, if you're into poetry and things of that nature. This one didn't have a whole lot of like fun spots in terms of, I don't know, were there any like weird or crazy or like fun carnival amusement parks that you have in Vermont, or like crazy areas that have a layer of mystery? I mean, I guess other than America's Loch Ness Champ, but they didn't really go further into the legend details of that. But I did. It's only 40 some minutes long. I'll admit, as it went on, if I had a watch, I'd be looking at it going, okay. And in fact, I kind of watched some of this on, 2-speed, just to go a little bit faster. So, I mean, part of me is like, maybe it's best that this is the last one. Because I do find it fascinating. I do, to a point. But I mean, sometimes it's just there's so many times you look at the trees and look at the trees and look, okay, that looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. And 15 minutes later, well, that does look beautiful. Then here's a rock quarry. Yeah, looks good. That type of thing. And because the Ben and Jerry's, I was like, okay, it's not really interesting to look at, but it's nice to know, oh, that's the place where they make it. So it's like, knowing that's where it's at was more interesting than the look of it. Like the log cabin looks like a log cabin. But okay, that's the place where Robert Frost wrote his stuff. That's cool. So I mean, that stuff is interesting. To a point. But I mean, I'm curious, if I wrote top 10 sites in Vermont, just curious. Like, what's this? The Boston Duck Tour? Boston. Okay, it said Vermont. Show me all this Boston shit. Sugarbush Resort. Ooh, look at that. You can't see it, but it's like the snow and stuff. It's too bad they didn't shoot like some stuff in the summer and some stuff in the winter to really see some of this splendor. It'd be interesting to have like people who really know these states watch this program and go, "Oh, they forgot this, they forgot this, they forgot this." But I don't know, that would be interesting to see. But I mean, it looks like a very. Wait, the Lincoln family home, and they didn't show that. How come they didn't show that? Ben and Jerry's, they did show that. Mouse Farm Maple Sugar Works. Teen Arthur Baking Company. Hmm. Mount Equinox Skyline Drive. The longest privately owned paved toll road in the U.S. I don't know if they talked about that. That looks interesting. I don't know if they talked about that. Bennington Battle Monument. Vermont's tallest man-made monument. I don't know if they showed this either. That's interesting. If they did, apologies for missing it. The Great Vermont Corn Maze. 24 acres of winding paths, including 100 bridges and an underground tunnel. Great Vermont Corn Maze in New England's largest, again, 24 acres of winding paths, including 100 bridges and an underground tunnel. Friendly goats, play area, barnyard golf. But that's interesting. How come we didn't talk about that? I guess I would just say in closing of it, it was nice to see the splendor and the beauty. I do find the program interesting. I kind of wish they would take some time to have like some really like fun spots, fun moments. It felt like some of the first couple I saw did some of that, but you know, it's like was some really wild, crazy moments and stuff that we could see of locations and. But I don't know. I guess with 40 some minutes, there's only a certain amount of time, and a lot of these there's a lot of places to look at and info to showcase. But I mean, that's just me. With that said, I mean it was interesting to say it still was, but and it maybe is best that this is the last one and at least a break for a while before seeing any more of these. But that's just me. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again to RB, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.